Yo, what's up guys? You got PokeaimMD here with another competitive Pokemon Sun and Moon moveset video, guide, analysis, how to use, whatever you want to call it. This time we're going to be talking about Lycanroc Midnight. Oh my god, OP. But anyway, Lycanroc doesn't have any really outstanding qualities outside of the fact that it has base 115 attack. We're talking about Lycanroc Midnight, by the way, and also the fact that it does have no guard as a hidden ability, which is really sick on a Pokemon that has Rock Stab. Outside of that, its speed is pretty average at base 82 and defense and special defense at base 75. So unfortunately, the Mon with no guard does not keep a Cellarrock like its Lycanroc midday form, or keep that huge speed that it had. But because it does have no guard and decent base speed at 82, it actually can function as a decent Choice Scarf user. So the Choice Scarf set is Stone Edge, Fire Fang, Crunch, and Rock Slide. Now unfortunately it doesn't really have too much of a physical move pool to abuse. You can actually use Sucker Punch over Crunch if you want, even on a Choice Scarf set, because Pokemon such as Pheromosa do outspeed you still. Unfortunately you don't hit that benchmark, but a weakened Pheromosa will go down to Sucker Punch regardless of resisting. It can help you check Scarf Gengar as well, which also outspeeds you. But outside of that, Stone Edge is your main form of stab. It's never going to miss because of no guard, which is sick. And then Rock Slide is also there on the bottom, just in case you actually need to flinch your opponent in order to win. Pokemon is a game of odds. I'm not saying hacks your opponent, but it's a game of numbers. So if your win con is flinching, go for it. Fire Fang allows you to damage Scizor as well as Ferrothorn for decent damage. They are 4 times weak to it, so it is going to be a 2-hit KO, at least on Scizor. Not always on Fizz Death Ferrothorn, but on Scizor most of the time it should be after rocks. And then Crunch just lets you hit, pretty much if you don't want to waste Stone Edge PP, it lets you hit Gengar, it lets you hit Pokemon like Jellicent. Outside of that, you're really just going to be clicking Stone Edge with this set, and then Rock Slide if you need a flinch. That's what Choice Scarf Lycanroc is going to do. It's just going to be clicking Stone Edge the entire time. I mean, Crunch lets you hit Pokemon such as like Latios and Latias for decent damage, a little bit more than what Stone Edge would do to them. But outside of that, nothing really. You want Jolly Nature because that allows you to outspeed Tapu Koko. With Adamant Nature, you would actually speed tie with Tapu Koko. You don't want that. So Jolly Nature allows you to outspeed Tapu Koko. And the idea of this set is come in, just spam Stone Edge, switch out when something comes in that threatens you out, and then get back in on a free switch, maybe with U-turn, maybe with Volt Switch. You can actually pair this with Magnezone to trap Skarmory as well as Celesteela. That way, it's easier for you to spam Stone Edge, but I also advise pairing with maybe Tapu Fini or just bulky waters or strong water types in general to break through the ground types that your opponents may have. That way you can just spam Stone Edge. Also, again, that's why Magnezone is a good partner because it traps steel types, even though most steel types outside of Magnezone wouldn't really resist your Stone Edge. Like I'm talking about Celesteela, Skarmory, Heatran, they would all take neutral from it anyway, but pairing a Magnezone, especially a Spec Zone, just to weaken those Pokemon, even Heatran, which comes in on Magnezone, just to be weakened by that, is good for Lycanroc just to spam Stone Edge. So next up we have the Rocks lead. It does have access to counter, which makes it a decent stealth rocker. You can actually run, instead of 252 HP, you can actually just run 252 attack, 252 speed, Jolly Nature. Vital Spirit is the preferred ability on this set because you will not be put to sleep by a Pokemon like Smeargle using Spore. That way, first turn, you actually do not have to waste your time going for Taunt versus Smeargle, especially if you pack a Rapid Spinner in the back, because Smeargle will more than likely go for the Spore first turn. If you do think it's going to go for Rocks, go for Taunt, obviously, but if you think it's going to go for Spore, go for Stealth Rock, because it can't put you to sleep because of Vital Spirit, and next turn you can taunt it, preventing it from going for Sticky Web, from going for Stealth Rock. Counters there with the Focus Sash. Maybe you want to nab something like a Metagross or any sort of physical attacker, even a lead Pheromosa or a Pheromosa going for U-turn, which will do decent damage to you regardless of the resist, and you can get off about, what, 70-80% on whatever is coming in with the counter. But the EVs were wrong. I wouldn't run max HP. I would just run max attack, max speed. So again, the idea of the set is Stealth Rock, counter, Stone Edge, taunt. It's kind of like the Lycanroc midday Stealth Rock set, except that thing is a lot faster and it doesn't run counter. It can run Toxic. It can run. You can also run a Cellarrock on that one. Unfortunately, this one doesn't, but it does have access to counter, which is pretty cool considering it doesn't have the best defenses, so you can definitely take advantage of that. And if a Pokemon, again, like Metagross, going for Meteor Mash, if you're at full, you just counter that, Metagross is gone. So next up we have SD. Now, I like SD on this Pokemon, especially because it does have access to Sucker Punch. So that allows it to break through the Pokemon that would be normally faster than it, and at least get rid of them, such as Gengar, Latios, Latias, a weakened Pheromosa, Pokemon such as that. And again, Swords Dance boosted Stone Edge is going to hurt. You run Life Orb on this set, max attack, max speed, Jolly Nature, allowing you to outspeed Adamant Mamoswine, allowing you to outspeed Modest, Tapu Lele, that is choice specs. Basically, you want to be able to get off your attack, so you run the most speed to ensure that you can get off your attacks. Why run Adamant when you're risking a Jolly Mamoswine outspeeding you and not being able to get off your +2 Stone Edge? And then Fire Fang is used. You can actually pair this with Tapu Lele, because Tapu Lele stops priority from being ran, so a Scizor can't actually bullet punch you. And if you run Fire Fang with that, the Psychic Terrain is up, +2 Fire Fang, Life Orb knocks out Scizor. And again, this set, still running it with Skarmory is really, still running it with Magnezone is really solid. Being able to trap Celesteela, or if you want this as a partner for something that appreciates Celesteela being gone, maybe you want to pair with her Kartana, because a +2 Stone Edge from Lycanroc hurts. It really hurts hard. It puts Celesteela in range of Sacred Sword from Kartana if you want to use like a sweeping Kartana or something like that. So you could use that with Lycanroc. Just to use it as a partner to break through your opponent's team and let something else sweep late game, like maybe like a Scarf Kartana. Next up, we have SDZ move. Now, while I was actually looking through Lycanroc's moveset, I was like, okay, I'm sure that Continental Crush would be powerful coming off of Stone Edge. And I actually was looking on Smogon as well. I was like, I wanted to see what people thought about this set as well. And it turns out that this man Bribery had already done the calcs for Continental Crunch, which is Continental Crush, Crunch. Ooh, sounds good. But with the Rocky MZ, you do get Continental Crush. Sorry. Mixing up myself. And with an Adamant Nature or Jolly, incredibly powerful. I know I talked about why would you want to risk the speed tie, but with this, I think if you're running the Rocky MZ, you can actually afford to run Adamant. And I'm about to show you the calcs that my boy Bribery made. So +2 max attack Lycanroc's Continental Crush versus physically defensive Skarmory does at minimum 100% versus physically defensive Toxapex minimum 103%. Physically defensive Tangrowth 90 to 106%. Physically defensive Landorus, this is +1 because of Intimidate, 90 to 106%. So you're getting rid of some of the most defensive Pokemon in the game. If Stealth Rock are up, they all die. They all die if Stealth Rock are up. So all those Pokemon will go down if Rocks are up. And Rocks are actually pretty crucial because, you know, getting rid of Sturdy. Oh, you guys couldn't see the Skarmory calc for some reason. What the hell? Let me edit this real quick. Could you guys see the Skarmory calc? There you go. There we go. But yeah. This is Adamant, and then Jolly still hits pretty nice benchmarks. Again, with Rocks up. Jolly +2, 91% minimum to Fizz Def Skarm, 94% minimum to Fizz Def Toxapex, 81% to 96% to Fizz Def Tangrowth, and then 82 to 97% to Fizz Def Landorus Therian form. So physically defensive. So Rocky MZ is definitely worth running on this set. And I just pulled up the SDZ move if you don't want to run Life Orb. It's definitely worth running just for the purpose of getting rid of those aforementioned Pokemon. Those are some of the bulkiest Pokemon in the game. Again, Skarmory, Toxapex, Landorus Therian form, Tangrowth. So Rocky MZ is definitely worth running. You can run Adamant or Jolly Nature. I think on this set is the only one that I would run Adamant. On Life Orb, I would always run Jolly. But on this side, I would definitely run Adamant just for the pure power of it. And, yeah, the idea of it, again, Sucker Punch for priority, and then Fire Fang to pick off a weakened Ferrothorn or pick off Scizor. So, next up we have the Choice Band set, which it can definitely function well with, since it does, again, have no guard Stone Edge, so Stone Edge is always going to hit. This set runs Stone Edge, Sucker Punch, and Fire Fang. Last move, I put Sleep Talk. You can also run Brick Break, you can run Crunch. I think Sleep Talk is better because you can use it as a Sleep Absorber and then have powerful Stone Edge, have powerful, pretty much just powerful Stone Edge coming out. Facade is also an option on it. I could also run Facade if you don't want to worry about being burnt, though it does make the rest of your moves pretty much useless, since burn will hinder the rest of your moves, not Facade, though. Facade becomes 140 base power when burnt, so it ignores the attack drop. Though it's also good if your opponent has like Toxapex or Nihilego and they get up a T-Spike, so if you get poisoned, you have this 140 base attack that comes off really, really strong. Obviously Stone Edge, Sucker Punch, and Fire Fang are still there. Fire Fang for Sucker Punch, excuse me, for priority. Fire Fang, I already mentioned what that hits. Scizor and Ferrothorn, respectively. And the Facade can also be used, but I also run Sleep Talk. Again, Rock Slide is also always an option because the ability to flinch a slower opponent down, if you need that to win, go for it. So, this is a Choice Band set. And next up we have just the other options that it does have. It does have access to Rock Polish, so maybe it's like a sort of sweeper set, but it doesn't have the best move pool. I mean, you saw Fire Fang, Sucker Punch so many times crunch, so it doesn't have the best physical move pool, but Rock Polish is still potential. It does have potential. Maybe you want to use like SD Rock Polish. It's really going to be tough to get off a dual dance set like that. But Bulk Up is also another option that it does have, but why use Bulk Up when it has base 75 defense and like base 75 special defense, so you're not really going to be able to bulk up on much. I would rather use SD over bulk up, but I did want to mention it. Rock Tomb is an option, maybe on the lead set if you want to run that over Stone Edge, just to slow down your opponent, or even on like a Scarf set to slow it down for something else coming out, so you can actually run it on the Choice Scarf set if you wanted to over Rock Slide, just because the idea of this would be to slow down your opponent for your and sacrifice yourself for your next opponent coming out, and allowing, or for your next Pokemon coming out, not your next opponent, but your next Pokemon coming out, and hopefully that can get rid of the Mon coming out. And then Thunder Fang is also an option, being able to hit water types, but generally Stone Edge is hitting harder anyway. And outside of that, I mean, Brick Break and nothing really else. It doesn't really have too much Toxic can be ran. Sub, but I don't know, I think it's a waste. Maybe Sub Sucker Punch could be cool. Sub Stories and Sucker Punch Stone Edge could be a cool set. Outside of that, it doesn't really have too much else to work with. But in any case, guys, hope you all enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Feel free to check out the playlist down below if you want to check out other moveset videos. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitch and Twitter. I do stream often, and Twitter is good to keep up to date with me. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, friends.